how did Mac Jones get 2 DUIs at Alabama then is what I'm wondering. Like, what cop pulls Mac Jones over and is like, that's it? Unless he was dating a chick at Auburn. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, he was like crossing boundaries.
No, they call him Back Jones, like blood alcohol content down there. Like I mean, if you've seen the shirtless picture of Mac Jones, not to go there, but if you've seen the shirtless picture of Mac Jones, it's like it's pounding a 12-pack every night body. Like,
I mean, that's what's curious about getting pulled over twice down there, you know?
Yeah, because if you're in Tuscaloosa, no way.
Tuscaloosa, right?
Yeah, there's no way. He had to have been going to Auburn or something like that, because the Auburn cop absolutely is giving Mac Jones a DUI. Like, no joke. Okay, welcome to RC Sports. RC Sports, it's in the game. And I am here. I am joined. And, some people might get the YouTube notification and see who I'm talking to today and might get a little excited. However, not talking about what people think we would be talking about. Who are you, man? Who are you? You introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is the Gnocchi Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just stick with that.
There you go.
Now,
there you
go. Coming to you live from a quiet beach community somewhere. How's everybody doing? Hey there, sports fans.
Hey there, sports fans. We're here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the NFL. We're 2 weeks into a season. It feels like even super early in the season because they did add the 17th game. So it's like we don't realize there's still like a full season to be played. It's so weird. How do you feel about the 17 games?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because I don't think that it's a little bit more money for each team, but all the players are getting fucked over. And getting like nothing out of it, over time it's really going to pile up. It's going to shorten a lot of guys' careers, and I think it's definitely just like a little cash grab kind of thing. But it is what it is,
Yeah, no, it is what it is, and I was always I want to. They need to have more bye weeks. I think let's let the season go longer.
Yeah,
just let no one cares if the Super Bowl or if the season goes into March. Like no one cares about that. And nobody would be mad at the season going into March. Would be like, oh man, more football. Damn, no one would say that. And I'm the same way. I'm like, dude, stretch it out, give these guys another bye week, increase the roster size, get more players paid. If we're gonna do that, if it's a cash grab, let everybody grab the cash. That's what
right.
Yeah, exactly. So we're 2 weeks into the NFL season. It's overreaction time. That's exactly what we're going to do today is overreact. I'm ready. I'm a fan of the 2-0 Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, all I can do is overreact right now.
Are you actually a Raiders fan? I thought you would hate the Raiders because they moved to Vegas.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not from Oakland, so I mean, I don't have that. I'm the Bay Area guy, but at the end of the day, this isn't like Bernie Sanders losing the Brooklyn Dodgers, where you didn't, you know what I mean? Where it's I have to I can watch any Raider game. I can, hell, they won't let me in the stadium, so it won't matter anyways. But I
can't believe Vegas of all places. Anyway.
Exactly. That's not what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, I am. I'm unfortunately a huge Raider fan. I've been suffering for my entire life, but it is what it is.
Copy that.
Yeah, we're gonna be. Who are you a fan of, by the way?
I'm a Jets fan. I've been a Jets fan my entire life, so I know from suffering. Yeah, we'll get there, I guess.
No, we're getting there now. I want to hear about it now. What's overreact to the Jets? How bad are the Jets?
I think they're the most overrated team in the league.
Overrated?
Yeah, because you can bet 500 to 1 that they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I think that's insane. I think that's not.
You think that's a bad deal?
That's just off the charts a bad deal. The real odds have got to be millions to 1.
Yeah,
they're just terrible.
It's crazy because I have 2,000 to 1 Washington football team getting to the NFC Championship game, and that feels way more plausible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good bet. They don't even look good, but I'm just saying, that feels like 500 to 1 for the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
It could be 5,000 to 1.
It's got to be 5,000 because
I was just glancing at the bottom of the charts, and I still don't. Whatever it is, it's not enough.
I was looking at Zach because I just was never a Zach Wilson guy. I love to watch college quarterbacks, and I watched his tape, and what I'm always scared of about a quarterback in college is when, like, okay, look, we love the extend the play, Russell Wilson type plays that he does. Like, everybody loves that. But like, when you can't make when you bail on like a clean pocket, when the pocket's clean, protection's good, and you still want to get outside the pocket, that's when I'm nervous, because that doesn't fly in the NFL. You have to use your protection. That's why Tom Brady's 45 still playing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, are you how down are you on Wilson right now? Is it as bad as we think?
I think, like, you got look at like Darnold. You get him out into a more stable program after a bunch of years with the Jets, and he's a pretty good quarterback. He's like serviceable. And that team is okay now. They could go to the playoffs. He could be a good postseason quarterback, like out of nowhere. And last year it was like, couldn't get rid of him soon enough. So it's just like the whole organization is just total like dog shit, and anybody who comes through there is just gonna like look bad. They're gonna look really bad, especially first year quarterback from like Mountain West or whatever. He's gonna look terrible, I think, for a little while, but I don't know how good he is, because the team around him is just like,
I absolutely feel your pain on that one, by the way. Maybe the Raiders are turning it around. Like, I don't know. I like, even then, like, they've started 2-0 last year too, so I can't really like be like, oh.
What do you read on Carr? Like, I'm not sure.
I love Derek Carr. He's one of those guys. I guarantee you, if he's the Washington football team quarterback right now, they're 2-0 and they're like favorites. Like, I think he's really good. Like, I think he's really good. And he's playing his ass off right now, and he doesn't have a running game to lean on. They can't run the ball, gutted the offensive line, and he's playing his ass off, dude. Like, I started out a huge fan. Like, oh my God, we drafted this guy at Fresno State. Like, this guy can play, because he came in the league. Didn't have a great rookie year, but I saw it was there. And then obviously 2016, huge pinnacle year. And in typical Raider fashion, on like the second to last game of the year, he snaps his ankle in half, right? When in the first playoff run ever, lose a playoff game with Connor Cook at quarterback. Terrible. And then after that, he like didn't look good for a couple years. And I'm like, man, like, you know what I mean? Is this our luck? But the last couple years under Gruden, and I'm not a huge Gruden guy, but like offensively, I think Gruden knows what the hell he's doing with the quarterbacks, and he's done really well. I'd be really scared to see them move on from him, who I think he's a known quantity, rather than let John Gruden pick a guy out of the draft, because we've all seen the way they've drafted lately, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably better than like a replacement, definitely.
Yes, and he's above average.
Actually, I kind of like Gruden. I think he's I'm worried about him because I think he's getting fat.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
He's getting like red, which I think is that happens to a lot of people in Las Vegas. They get fat and red.
Yeah.
And I just don't like. They keep living. I'm sure he'll keep living, but it doesn't. I worry about him.
Oh, absolutely. He was actually in Florida for a long time too. Like, even when he wasn't coaching, like going from Florida to Vegas, that's just ultimate red guy trajectory.
Definitely like, getting closer to hell.
Yeah. You're just cooking in the sun. And like, he used to, when his first run with the Raiders, he used to run around. He used to like work out with the players. Now he's just like, nah. Like,
yeah, that's not happening.
Not doing any of that. I don't want to hear about Gruden getting carted off with an Achilles injury in practice, trying to like do pass rush simulations. Like,
but yeah, so that mixed with his level of intensity is, a cause for concern.
But he could be a heart attack situation. You're right.
Absolutely. But they're an okay team. They're an okay team. I just don't know if Carr is like top flight guy.
My thing is like, okay, yes, I know for a fact he's not top flight. I don't think he's ever going to crack top 5 quarterbacks. Like, and that's
right.
That's fair. Like, that's a fair assumption. I think he's got his limitations. He cannot run. Like, he's a horrible runner with the football. Like, even though he's not a slow guy, he just isn't a natural runner. And there are times where certain quarterbacks can just make something out of nothing, and you're like, damn, he can't do that, because he's not going to run. But I will say, like, he operates that offense like really well. Like, especially some of the film guys I talk to, it's just like, man, like he's a savant with that kind of stuff. And like, I'd be fearful with who they'd replace him with. That's all it is. Like, it's more so like it's kind of a cucked thing. But when your team doesn't draft well, it's not. Like, if our team was just like Ravens level drafting, I'd be like, yeah, bring somebody else in new. I trust this GM, but I don't. I'm scared. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and right now you're overreacting like they're 2-0. So like,
And they played a little bit of defense, which they haven't done in 20 years. They have not.
Yeah,
Played,
and
they,
last year especially was
yeah,
like
they had the
bad.
historic.
Yeah.
They gave up a touchdown, or I think it was scoring on 55% of defensive possession or defensive. Like when their defense was on the field, 55% of the time the offense scored against them. Like, like how do you win? Like you just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like so, I'm saying I don't know if he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's definitely like a get you to the playoff quarterback. Everybody else got to step up. That's all it is.
Sure. Sure.
And so let's talk about a guy who is good. The Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Where are the child organs? How are they harvesting things? Tell me, man. Like I don't understand how this guy's still good. I think he's better than he was last year. It's like psychotic, actually. And
I mean, yeah.
Like, and I just don't get it. Makes me sick. I'm glad he's in the NFC now. I kind of appreciate him and Belichick isolated now. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh, totally.
I like him. I like watching them both do their own thing. Like when they were together.
I appreciate Brady a lot more now that he's, because it's like
well, you hate him. You're a Jets fan, yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can hate him because I've seen him so many times over the years, and like back 15 years ago, one of the most notable things about him was that he just like never took a hit. If you ever got close to him, he just like went down. And there is a book on how to beat him, and you have to like get him off his spots, like so he's out of rhythm, and confuse him pre-snap. And like over the decades, that's the when people have beaten him, it's like they have a good front four pass rush.
Pressure with 4,
and you can get there with blitz, and you're confusing him with your looks, and he's not in rhythm. But the work that he's done, like to get his release time down, and just like at this point, the experience he has, he's seen everything. Like nobody has any ideas that he can't immediately pick apart in his head and know where the ball has to go. And it's really like it's almost like boring to watch him play the game, because he's just playing at a level that nobody knows what to do against for now, anyway.
Oh yeah, he's nuts. And that team, oh my God, that team. When you look at like what they've done in the draft, I'm a big draft guy. I love the way teams are built. And what I think is going on now, I think what you're seeing, and I had this in our notes for today to talk about, and I'll just get to it now. Now, you're seeing teams now. A lot of the ways it goes, when your team stinks, right? Your team stinks. What you do is you draft your rookie quarterback, and you hope to build around him while he's still cheap, while you get that slotted rookie deal, and you can build around him. The way the Browns did that. The Browns did that with Baker Mayfield. Right. Baker Mayfield's cheap, but now they're running into a thing where it's like, do we pay Baker Mayfield? We don't know. Is he that good? Do we want to give him the Josh Allen money? Dude, do we even know if Josh Allen's that good? It's a weird limbo thing. And what I wonder now is the way to do it is to, one, pull your head out of your ass in the draft. Start drafting franchise defensive ends. Start drafting great corners like the Bucks did. They got Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy Bunting, all these guys like late mid rounds, like just guys that are good starting corners, good linebackers like Devin White and Levante David, who's been there forever. And then go find your quarterback. Then go. I mean, they got lucky with Brady to where they didn't have to trade anything for him. But like almost like what the Rams are doing. Yeah. Well, what the Rams are doing with Stafford, same thing, where they're like, okay, we're gonna grab a guy who maybe wasn't in the best situation, and we're going to put him in a good situation. He's a veteran. We're not worried about the growing pains. Like, I wonder, is that a better strategy now? It's just to build the rest of your team and then make it basically like a desirable real estate place for a good quarterback rather than drafting one.
Well, like, yeah, the Rams have, like one of the best defenses that you're going to put together. And with like, in that sort of a situation, you've seen that like Goff is able to get them almost to win a Super Bowl, and he's like a pretty bad game manager. And I think Stafford is like a pretty good game manager, probably on balance. So, if you have like an incredible defense that's stacked, or like in Tampa Bay, another Jets guy, Todd Bowles, is their D coordinator, and he is just like Darnold is like another Another just like really good all around football guy who like had to do his like pay his dues with the Jets
Yeah.
and yeah, if you've got a good solid situation and you can get a veteran quarterback, then that's the way to do it. But you know, you need some really like unusually good pieces to build around to do it that way. Otherwise, you're waiting to like pick up a quarterback like the Jaguars did or something, or the Jets
Yeah.
were,
Hmm.
planning to or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if do you do that like say again another team, Washington football team. That was prime example. I think they are
Mm.
almost Tampa Bay Buccaneers supporting cast worthy. They're almost there. I don't think they're as good. They don't have the Mike Evans. They don't have the Terry McLaurin's a fantastic wide
Yeah, you're
receiver.
really high on the supporting cast here. I really like
I like
I,
Antonio Gibson. I like Terry McLaurin. I think somebody can win. I just think they're an okay team, and they have Taylor Heineke as their quarterback. Like I think I'm wondering if they're the team to where, I mean, hey, like I'm trying to see who would be available this year. They didn't really have the best crop to pick from, but like if maybe 2 years ago, what if they just traded the farm? What if they were the team that traded the farm for Stafford? Like what if they were? I just wonder.
yeah.
I wonder does that put them in that category rather than like you said with the Jaguars or the Bengals? Right? Look at the Bengals. The Bengals have Joe Burrow.
Right.
Is Joe Burrow really going to be by the time his 5th-year option? By the time he's not cheap anymore, are the Bengals really going to be a good team? Do we really think that? I don't think so. Like
I mean,
maybe we don't know. You have Lamar you got to deal with. You have a good Cleveland team. Like I just wonder, is it better to just go get that veteran quarterback right away and maybe use that number 1 pick to trade for I just wonder with team building, like is it as simple as let's take the top quarterback and see what happens? I feel like that doesn't work like we think it does.
so the quarterbacks in that draft, in the 2020
Yeah.
draft,
Lawrence.
Burrow.
Oh, Burrow. Yeah. The Burrow.
And Tua and Herbert. Like you could kind of say that about each one of their situations, which is like in a couple of years, how are those teams gonna feel? And like you see it happen all the time, like with Tannehill.
Yeah.
The Dolphins really held on to him for a while and tried
Mm-hmm.
to build around him, but he's still like, later in his career, goes to some team and he's able to produce like a lot better than he ever
great.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, he's got like great running back and great defense and all that, but and so on. But still, it's like, it takes a long time for a quarterback, if they're going to stay healthy, to really just like get to the point where they're, where they're reading the game comfortably and able to like run an offense through a full season. It's just like, I guess they're young guys like Mahomes and Jackson who, can just like, they have like additional talent that they're able to like lean on while they're putting the game together and stuff. And that's really fun to watch. But like for the average, top of the draft quarterback like Burrow or whatever, and now he has this injury on his back, like it's shitty team. It's a tough draw. It really is.
Yeah. Because if I was Trevor Lawrence, I would have done what John Elway did. Because I'm that low on Urban Meyer. And I think that's overused every year. I think that's overused when people like every single year, the top quarterback, some guy will go on ESPN or NFL Network and be like, hey, they need to like not want to go to that team and tell them like the way Eli Manning did and the way John Elway did. I actually think that's overused. Like, I don't think you should have this year.
This was the time.
I think Urban Meyer is one of the worst NFL. Like, that's one of the worst ideas ever is to make Urban Meyer specifically an NFL head coach. Because I just, dude, he's such a college guy. Like, and like the guys that make it are the Pete Carrolls who can adapt. Pete Carroll went from NFL to college back to NFL. He knew a little bit about the NFL. Like, okay, I figure out, I know the difference between millionaires and guys eating top ramen. You know what I mean? Like they know the difference. I don't think Urban Meyer knows that difference. He has guys doing like up downs, like remember the Titans in practice and stuff. And it sucks. He has a horrible offense. His quarterbacks at Ohio State aren't good. Like maybe Justin Fields, we'll see. But like his quarterbacks at Ohio State are never good in the NFL. So it's like you wonder, does that? And he's running his system in the league. So I'm not gonna lie, Trevor Lawrence, I was like, he seems like a nice guy, so he probably never would. But like he should have been like, hey man, like See what you can get for that number 1 pick, because I'm not coming.
I think
Like,
it was like, given the circumstances, it was for a while, he was probably for the whole year, I was thinking he was going to wind up on the Jets. And so
true.
like out of nowhere at the end of the year, it's like, oh, maybe get Florida and Urban Meyer, and like it's definitely, I can see for him a better situation. But
Yeah.
like the one thing I always think about Meyer is with fucking Aaron Hernandez, like way back.
Yeah.
Because like it's not that big a deal, but like the whole Florida team goes crazy in Gainesville, and like the cops look the other way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But obviously you get a glimpse into just how crazy some of these guys go. And I remember like watching a couple of games back then, like Hernandez was like a troublemaker, and Urban Meyer is just like, I guess to me, that's sort of like is a culture that's more conducive to the big college program kind of thing. And I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to like swing that in the NFL, where like other teams are tougher.
That's a great point.
You can't just roll through teams like through most of the season. So
yeah, because you're not real like, oh, and also like just being in Jacksonville, you're not like, what are the Jaguars in Florida like? Where do they rank on like, oh, I'm like top dogs? Like they're below the college teams. Like I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to.
No, it's true. It's true.
They're below the college team. They're below Florida State, and Florida State stinks. And they're below Florida. And
definitely the Gators. Yeah, for sure.
Tampa's pretty big, but even then, even before Brady, like the Tampa, like it was. I never thought Tampa was like a top ticket like item, and like the baseball teams don't really draw that well out there. Like it's very much more of a college-y state, which I get. Maybe that's what they're thinking, getting Urban Meyer in there. And it's a hot name. You bring in a hot name, Urban Meyer, that's going to draw attention. But like it's bad.
Jacksonville's kind of a strange,
is it?
Town in a lot of ways, because it feels like it's not like deep Florida like Gainesville. It's like it's culturally a little more like Northeastern or liberal, I guess.
Is it? Okay, I didn't
the rest
know that.
of Florida. Yeah, and then when you get to like the outskirts, it's very country.
Sure.
So it's a very like town and gown kind of place. I don't know how the Jaguars are going to fall on that this year. We'll see how Urban Meyer takes it.
Yeah, and exactly. So that'd be fine. Trevor Lawrence, I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be a Jet. Honestly, I was like, man, he's going to be a Jet. Like because they were bad, and I remember the Raiders had that crazy like walk-off win where they should have.
I remember that game too.
I was like, I thought Greg Williams was tanking. I was like, okay, that's a Greg Williams tank mode, blitz, cover zero blitz on Carr, who is actually really good against that thing, which is how they won the first game against the Ravens, was that. And then like the next week they beat the Rams. I was like, what? Like,
yeah. It was too perfect. It's what they're gonna do.
To be fair, he doesn't look much better though. He doesn't look much better than Zach Wilson right now.
I think he's a top quarterback. Like just from his time in college, like he was just
a beast. Yeah, I agree.
Very, very efficient, and obviously like the game speed is different, and the reads are different. So I think he's a smart kid, and I think he's probably gonna like grow up and be a pretty good quarterback. But
absolutely,
obviously, he doesn't have a great team right now, so it looks that way. But
yeah, all right. So we are gonna pivot here to I have a thing I'm mad at. I'm an AFC West guy, and I'm really mad at the media coverage. And now I have a conspiracy theory about this media. I feel like you won't mind if I share a conspiracy.
Let's do it.
Here. So the NFL built a headquarters next to SoFi Stadium. People don't know this. You can like walk from the NFL network.
Oh, really?
To like NFL Network Total Access. You can like walk to SoFi Stadium.
Is that like Inglewood or something?
I can't remember exactly where it is.
Whatever.
I think, but it's that area.
It's close to the airport.
Yeah, that is correct. I know that for sure. So you can walk there, like you can walk there. But to the two teams that get the craziest coverage, and the Rams are good, so yeah, of course they're going to get coverage. But like the Chargers, what is the Charger hype? I don't understand the Charger hype. It's happened every year for the last 10 years. And this is even when they were still in San Diego. It's wow, the Chargers are going to put this together. And they're doing it with Justin Herbert. I'm a hater. I hate the Chargers. I hate everything they do. But I actually, in an isolated sense, I thought Justin Herbert was whack in college. Like, I was like, it had before the
at
Chargers ever
Oregon,
touched him. I was like, first off, I did the Oregon quarterback thing where I'm like, that never works. And then I'm like, that weird system. It's very Nike, very like, just, I don't know. It was like a Nike offense that they ran there.
It
But
looked like Mariota was going to break the spell for a second, but yeah,
if he wasn't so damn, if he didn't get hurt all the time, I feel like he could have done it. Yeah. But yeah, not even then. But so Justin Herbert is like a media darling this year. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, everybody's just like, Justin Herbert, this is like the next guy. So let me show you the 2 games. The Chargers have scored 20 points in their win against Washington, which 20 points in 2021, like, yeah, you know what I mean? What does that do? And then they just scored, 17 points against Dallas? Or no, they scored 14. Was it 7? It was 17-14, I believe.
Yeah, it was 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it was 2017.
20-17. Okay. So they've basically had the same scores in both games, and they switched essentially. So they had that. And I don't get, and they're like, Justin Herbert played well. He threw a horrible interception in the end zone in that game. I watched that game. He threw a horrible interception in the red zone.
Yeah, that was a terrible pick. Yeah, I watched that game too.
Just bad. Yeah. And he's, so they do average depth of target. He's in the bottom part of the league on average depth of target, which is basically, yeah, I mean, you probably know what this is, but like anybody else, like just the throw. How far does the throw go in the air? The average of that, where it's like you're not relying on the wide receiver running and creating yards for you after the catch. It's how far does that go? And you typically like a quarterback to be between that like 7 to 9 range, average depth of target. That means they're moving first downs. But like, I just don't get it with Justin Herbert. I don't think he's bad. He's clearly not bad. But do we see a greatness out of this guy? I don't see greatness.
I think he's like the bottom of the top of his class, and
okay.
I don't know.
I can do that.
Right, like there were other quarterbacks in his year who any team would have wanted before him. Chargers wound up with him, and it's like I think they fucking take way too many penalties in that last game against Dallas, especially. Yeah. That was insane, and I just. Their run defense isn't really like anything special. There's not a great team there, but Herbert is he's still young. I guess right now, if I had to go between him and Joe Burrow, I'd probably go with Herbert just because of the health situation
and arm strength too. Burrow does not have a cannon. That's one thing about I love Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow, but I had a buddy who's Marcus Johnson who did our alpha beta rankings with us. Right. Great football mind. He does film review of everybody. He's like a big time scheme guy, and he's like, dude, Burrow makes all the right reads. He simply does not have the arm strength.
You just can't get the ball there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like how Peyton Manning was in his last year with Denver, where it's like, dude, he's not wrong on any of these throws. He just doesn't have the gas to get it there, man.
And I'm really surprised that that's how he's looked as a pro quarterback, because he definitely he had a lot more like
you're right. You know what, I honestly, to be fair, you're right, because like, and to be fair, I mean, it's not even a question. You take him over Tua, right? I mean, like, I thought I liked Tua coming out, and I was
everybody roots for him, but
I was wrong, man. I don't see it at all. He looks there's a difference. Kyler Murray was small in college, looks small in the pros, but like Tua looked way bigger at Alabama. Is that just me? Like, he looked like he was small, but he looks like minuscule in the NFL.
He looks like he's not going to make it.
Like, that was that movie with Matt Damon that came out where he was tiny. Like, that's what he looks like. Like, where the Matt Damon was like, it's called like Downsizing, and he looks like he's like,
oh yeah,
he looked like, or like the Indian in the cupboard, like that size, like where it's like, dude, this guy is small as hell, man. Like, and you're right. Like, you're right. As much as I want to hate on Justin Herbert, he probably should have gone number 1.
I mean, yeah, it's like, looking back, that's like total overreaction. You'll see how that goes. But like, yeah, Tua is like not really built to take all the hits that he has to right now, and like Burrow might have been, but it's just bad luck. So I don't know. But as far as the Chargers go, I don't see them being any sort of like serious threat in the AFC. It's definitely not the AFC West. There's an AFC, the AFC West team that I think is seriously underrated is the Broncos right now.
Okay.
Because I've just watched a couple of their games so far. They got, Von Miller is back and he's playing really, really well. Their whole defense is playing at a high level, and Bridgewater is just like, like we're talking about these older quarterbacks, who just kind of know the game at a certain point. Like, he doesn't have the most incredible skill set, but he's just like, he's reading the game very clearly. He hasn't gone up against terribly hard defenses yet, but I just think they're probably like a team to watch out for in that division.
Oh, for sure. And Vic Fangio, he's going to have a good defense every single time. Vic Fangio is I don't know about him as a head coach, honestly, but I know as a defensive coordinator, it gets no better. When he had the Niners defenses with Patrick Willis, they were unbelievable. Bears defenses during the year where the double doink happened, he had that defense playing incredible. And then funny thing about Teddy Bridgewater, they call him Spready Bridgewater because he covers all the spreads. He covers. That man covers. If you're a gambling man, Teddy knows what he's doing.
Go with Teddy.
Yeah. So this week they're 10.5 at the Jets, and I'm thinking about taking it, and that's scary.
Oh, 10.5 is
10.5 hosting the Jets. Yeah. So at home at Mile High, I might be hammering that spread.
I would go definitely.
Yeah.
Just I don't see the Jets being inside of 2 scores on that game at all. They're like,
the Jets defense that bad though? Like, I don't think it's that bad.
No, they're playing okay so far.
I thought they did fine against Mac Jones on defense. It's just you can't turn the ball over that much.
Yeah. They did fine against Mac Jones, but they made Mac Jones look like a pro.
He's good. He's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback, but it's like the defense isn't gonna make many highlights throughout the year. So I think, like the game that Bridgewater played against the Giants, I think it'll probably be like, it'll be easier than that, and that was pretty easy for him.
Yeah. He might have a few short field possessions too with, just things happening. Yeah.
Sure. I would expect that the like collapsing pocket is not going to be good for Wilson. At all. I think it could get ugly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I picked him in my survivor pool this week. I did. I said, Broncos are going to handle that this week. It's going to happen. They're going to start 3-0 now. Funny thing about Mac Jones. Let me switch to Mac Jones here because you were talking about. I meant to bring this up when you talked about Urban Meyer. So the college town thing, the college town where hey, Aaron Hernandez was making trouble at Florida, and there were a couple.
Everybody makes trouble.
Percy Harvin, I think, got in a little trouble there. Never was an issue.
Sure.
Guys like that. Yeah, I mean, you're talking of the town. Why not? How did Mac Jones get 2 DUIs at Alabama? Then is what I'm wondering. Like, what cop pulls Mac Jones over and is like, that's it? Unless he was dating a chick at Auburn. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, he was like crossing boundaries.
No, they call him Back Jones, like blood alcohol content down there. Like I mean, if you've seen the shirtless picture of Mac Jones, not to go there, but if you've seen the shirtless picture of Mac Jones, it's like it's pounding a 12-pack every night body. Like,
I mean, that's what's curious about getting pulled over twice down there,
Yeah, because if you're in Tuscaloosa, no way.
Tuscaloosa, right?
Yeah, there's no way. He had to have been going to Auburn or something like that because the Auburn cop absolutely is giving Mac Jones a DUI. Like, no joke, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the South that well, but I know college football is life out there. So
I once went to a place like a bar in. Not in Tuscaloosa, but in Oxford, Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
with like
that's Ole Miss. Yeah,
Ole Miss town.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
And at the you showed your ID to the door guy, and he gave you a wristband that had the phone number for a DUI lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
nice, just in advance.
Like walking into the bar, just give one to everyone.
Yeah,
just in case.
That's awesome.
So I think that you're just kind of gonna like, if you live there, I would imagine, you'd get pulled over. I'd get pulled over for sure. I mean, you can't. There's no other way to get around, and you're definitely gonna drink. So, I wouldn't judge him too harshly for that.
I don't judge him. I just wonder this. I just want to know the situation because I could see most cops being like shining the flashlight, just being like, "Oh, Mac Jones, all right, man, I'll give you a ride if you want to. I'll have my officer take your car back to your house, and I'll give you a ride." Like, I could see that because we don't want a separated shoulder from you hitting a deer, right, or something. That's where I could see it going. I don't judge him because he's a quarterback, dude. Like, I mean, hey,
maybe the era of like the cop. Like, you remember when Bruce Springsteen got a DUI? like a couple of months ago or something.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, he's probably gotten pulled over, 10 million times in his life. And every cop has just been like, yeah, it's the boss, And then maybe he just came across this young cop who like didn't know him or didn't respect him. Or maybe there's just like a different code these days, and like college quarterbacks and rock stars don't get the same kind of leeway, or they have to go through the courts for it. You don't just get it on the street level. Like, it all worked out in the end fine for Mac Jones. So
15th, he slid to 15th overall because of his DUI. No, I don't even think that happened. Yeah, I know. He was supposed to go third. I remember for a long time the Niners, he was supposed to go third overall to the Niners. Like, they're like, did we trade up all these picks?
Yeah.
But now the Niners got a guy that can't even get on the field. So I'm just saying. But I
think it's going to work out for the Patriots. I think the Patriots are a good team.
When they drafted him, I was like, you motherfucker, you tried to find the next Tom Brady, didn't you?
Right.
Like, it's totally the same guy.
Yeah.
Like, if you remember Tom Brady's running combine video where he looks like shit at the combine, or he's like running and it looks like Rich Eisen trying to run the 40, and it's like horrible. And I'm thinking in my head, like, did Belichick watch this guy who's like, he's got like a dad bod at like age 22, playing football, like in top shape, like, and he's just thinking like, okay, this guy's smart. He can read the offense. It comes from a good program. Belichick loves Nick Saban. They're like best friends, and like he's thinking, he's thinking, let me just go ahead and take this guy. Like, it'll probably work. Like, and it does. The minute they did, I said that's other than the Niners, I thought that was the best scenario for him.
Like, and I thought that. Definitely when they got rid of Cam Newton, I thought that must have meant that Belichick knew that he was going to be able to go with Jones for like a full season. Mm-hmm. He must have had some faith in him to get rid of Newton, even just as like a placeholder or whatever.
Yeah, so, that's wild. That's why. Shape. Yeah, exactly. I agree. So let's see what else. A couple other things I wanted to talk to you about here. The Chiefs, another AFC West thing. The Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are that good as a team. That's my hot take. I don't think they're that good.
You don't think they're that good
as a roster? Okay, the Chiefs are very much like the Rams to me, to where the top end of their roster is top of the top. You can't beat it. Uh-huh. And I'm talking about from coach to like 3 power rankings down on their roster. Like, look at the Chiefs and the Rams. The Rams, start with them. Sean McVay, good coach. I think he's a good coach. Matt Stafford, good quarterback. I actually liked your thread on Matt Stafford, by the way. Maybe let's hammer that for a second.
People went after it. I got a lot of talk about how Stafford was like a solid guy.
Thought it was fantastic because you're absolutely right. Stafford has a record of forget what it is. It's very bad
against winning teams.
It's like 4 and like something bad, like 4 and like 48. It's like really bad.
Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me, but it's very bad. And like, again, it's the Lions. Bad team. Bad teams bring out the bad things in good players. That's what we know. That you know that I know that. But like, at some point you're like, okay, some of that's you, dude. And I remember Stafford had some horrible interceptions. Maybe that's him trying to do too much. But nonetheless, you look at your thread on that was spot on, where it's basically like, and I had a similar tweet, was the same way, where I was like, that first night where Stafford's lighting it up against the Bears, and everyone's like, wow, Matt Stafford went to a better situation and he's better. And I'm like, no, he played
Look a Matt Stafford. Yeah.
He played the same Matt Stafford game, but he has Aaron fucking Donald and Jalen Ramsey on defense, to where he knows he doesn't have to take those crazy risks to win a game. He knows his defense might get off the field on 3rd down and get him the ball back, with the score being the same as when he last had the ball. And like, it's similar in that sense. So
and he's still going to be playing in games, like he's got this incredible defense. But I've honestly, I thought he was overrated since he was in college, since he was at Georgia.
Damn.
Yeah, he was the top pick of the year. What was it, like?
And that was a loaded quarterback class.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Flacco, those guys are all seeing their twilight right now. But
I mean, he looks good that he's still playing, that he's still in the league, and he is able to to play at a pretty high level. Like, he looks okay. And the Rams defense is good enough. They're contenders, but I think he's never going to take them to a spot where they can relax a little bit. And then when you get up against better, better quarterbacks or like a good defense that's going to headhunt a little bit. Like I think he's, he's a weakness. I think he's a weakness basically.
So you think, yeah. So, okay. That makes sense. Cause I'm kind of the same way. My dad is an enormous Rams fan, like the biggest Rams fan of all time. The reason I'm a Raider fan, one of the reasons I like the A's growing up, that was like the first team I really liked. But like the reason I was like, okay, same stadium at the time. I'll just like the Raiders. That was kind of where I went. Loved the uniforms. I was like, cool, this is perfect. Like I was like anti-SF, didn't like the Giants. So I was like,
yeah,
like I'm not gonna like the Niners. That'd be weird to be, A's fan and Niners fan. I'm like, that's just weird. Let's keep it all in the same thing. But like my dad's whole thing was like, dude, just don't pick the Niners. Like, don't, because he's a Rams fan, same division. And now he's when they first traded for Stafford, he's just like, dude, that wasn't the problem. Like, and I even told him, like, dude, Goff is not that good. But like, okay, you're right. Like, he's like, we needed a little more offensive line help. We needed a little more, maybe a little more depth on defense. Like, to make the Goff mistakes go away. Now Stafford's clearly better than Jared Goff. Like we know this. Like this isn't like Jared Goff isn't good. he's like probably
and the Lions he doesn't look very good over there either.
He's a placeholder over there. He's a placeholder.
Yeah.
But they have 2 first-round picks this year and then 2 first-round picks next year. There's going to be a quarterback picked with one of those 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years.
He might have one more year to like teach the other guy how to like.
Yeah. I actually, they might. A hot take right now. This quarterback class stinks coming out. Stinks. Spencer Rattler, not the guy. I'm just letting you guys like.
I agree.
Sam Howell, not the guy. I like the Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral. I want to say I like him. And I like Carson Strong out of UNR Nevada. Like those are the guys I like, but I don't view them as like, we have to get this guy. I'm not that. I don't see anybody in this class. If I'm the Lions, I do wait a year. I agree with you there. But
I think there are a lot of like big guys, on the usual SEC teams, like on both sides of the ball who are going to be top picks. And Alabama is just like stacked with physical talents, but like the whole college, like, thing this year, that it just seems a little out of balance, and there aren't like besides Alabama, it doesn't seem like there are that many teams that are really like operating at a top level,
But the Chiefs, let me get to my point here.
We're going here.
This makes sense. Sense. So the Rams, the same way the Rams, you have Stafford, Ramsey, Donald, Cooper Kupp, guys like that. The Chiefs are the same way. You have Patrick Mahomes, the best. I mean, like the best in the league. He's fantastic. I mean, unbelievable. I loved him in college. Broke my heart when the Chiefs traded the farm for him. Nobody believed him in him at that time. I was like, this is scary good with him and Andy Reid. This is going to be scary. He's Donovan McNabb on PEDs. He's incredible. And I was like, incredible. Tyreek Hill, fastest person I've ever seen in football ever in my life. Like, he's a freak. Travis Kelce, top 5 tight end of all time, could be top 3. I mean, that touchdown he had against the Ravens was unbelievable.
He's incredible. Edwards-Helaire is great.
Okay, see, that's where I'm at here. I have to disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
I hate Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he sucks. I liked him in college. I don't, and so I posted a thing on my Glen Rockney account. I posted that the Chiefs. I was going on a Chiefs hate night on Sunday. I was doing probably about 3 or 4 different tweets about how much the Chiefs suck, because I got to get it while I can. And
now's the time.
You know this.
They're about to win a lot a lot of games, so you get it in now. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
But hopefully, we'll see. Raiders played them good twice last year. We'll see. But anyways, let's fuck them, dude. And I love Andy Reid too. I used to love Andy Reid when he was with Philly and stuff. Like they brought a lot of people in that I've liked.
And it's cool. They play like cool
football. They do
football. Yeah, and they execute it very well. And like that's the thing with Edwards-Helaire is like in that system, they really just need a guy who can like keep a couple of linebackers held for a split second or something. So
he's supposed to be Brian Westbrook is what he's supposed to be, right? Is that not true? Right, with the Eagles, everyone remembers Brian Westbrook. Great receiving back, great rushing back. He was He was kind of like a poor man's Marshall Faulk, but like that's a great compliment. Like that was what he was supposed to be. So now, okay, you look at past those people on the Chiefs. Honey Badger's great too. Put him in there too. Those 4 to 5 guys that are in there. The rest of their roster sucks, dude. Like it's not good.
Yeah.
Demarcus Robinson as wide receiver 2, terrible. Mecole Hardman, okay. I don't see that. I don't see it there.
I was surprised they let what's his name?
Sammy Watkins
go.
Still a good player.
Buffalo. Yeah, he's a great fucking receiver. And he was getting a lot of usage, getting a lot of targets.
Yeah, and with the Ravens, I think he's going to be very good. And anyways, like you look at these other guys like Frank Clark, they traded a bunch for him. He has like the lowest pressure rate out of any starting defensive end in the NFL. Like, and he's been good in the playoffs. So, he's a guy that maybe comes up in clutch situations, but Chris Jones, they had to move him to defensive end. And he was probably the second best defensive tackle in the league other than Aaron Donald, which is the first in any other era. Probably you're still the best if Aaron Donald's not in there. So you have all these guys, you have to move them to defensive end. And I'm thinking in my head, the Chiefs have not built around Patrick Mahomes all that well. That's how good Patrick Mahomes is that they really have not built around him that well. And so here's the guy. You said it here, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So let me read you why my take on why Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't think he sucks. I think he was one of the worst draft picks of the last couple years. So it's a difference, right? So this is how you value running backs in the first round. So my tweet, follow me on Twitter at Glen Rockney. It's only sports over there, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of the worst draft picks in years, but no one will admit it because he's on a good team. That's my take on that. That's my take. Went crazy. I don't get a lot of engagement on that account. I got like 700 likes and like 30 quote tweets. People went insane. Chiefs Nation, family tree has no branches. Everybody knows that. But so let me show you. So they picked him the last pick.
Yeah, end of the round,
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
End of the round, Super Bowl pick. We're building our roster. And I remember when he got picked, and I got a little scared, but in my head, I was like, you know what? I'd rather a team that I hate draft a running back in the first round rather than like a more valuable position, because like a running back in the first round now, it's just not worth it anymore. And I'm saying this as a Josh Jacobs fan. He's not worth it in the first round.
You're too likely to swing and miss if you get even like Saquon Barkley is like a great look. He's as good looking a running back out of college as you're gonna ever see, and now it's like you're kind of stuck with him. So I think it's gonna keep happening less and less because it just generally doesn't work out. Yeah.
So here, and I like to look at previous drafts because I'm like, okay, Glenn, what the hell are you talking about? Let me look at who got picked. The next 10 picks after Clyde Edwards-Helaire. These are good players. Next pick, Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins. You're telling me T. Higgins isn't good on the Chiefs right now? Balling right now on the Chiefs as wide receiver 2. Eating up on single coverage. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce drawing defensive game plans all week. T. Higgins is by himself with whatever second corner you have. Michael Pittman Jr., okay, maybe a wash there. DeAndre Swift was in that draft. So if you're going running back, I think DeAndre Swift is probably they run Clyde Edwards-Helaire in between the tackles. They obviously want him to do that. Xavier McKinney, decent safety. Kyle Duggar is a stud for the Patriots. Like that would be a good pick for the Chiefs. Yetur Gross-Matos getting great pressure for the Panthers. Robert Hunt's a good guard for the Dolphins. Jonathan Taylor is in the next 10 picks.
Yeah.
Okay.
You take them all over Edwards-Helaire.
And yes, and I would take this last guy, Laviska Shenault. You're telling me that Andy Reid wouldn't know what to do with a Laviska Shenault. So here's the thing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. People are saying, oh, they don't use him right. Oh, you're telling me the second best offensive mind of all time doesn't use Clyde Edwards-Helaire right? I don't know. I don't really believe that. I don't like Bill Walsh and Andy Reid are the two best offensive minds in the history of football, in my opinion. And, if you want to go back to like the 60s, you could go with Don Coryell or something. The guy invented pass.
No, Andy Reid's proved it, especially with this run in Kansas City.
The whole like they don't know what they're doing with him. Really? You know what I mean? Like I think they know exactly what they're doing with him. I just think, okay, look, he fumbles to lose the game. He's not a guy you can trust. He's not a guy you can trust to put the game away. Right now, I think he should be strictly a pass catching back. But do you draft pass catching running backs in the first round? No.
I mean, the thing is, like him.
Challenge me here. I need you to push back hard.
I'll go back. Him and Burrow. On
Joe Brady. Yep.
On that great fucking team.
Great.
Like I think with drafting, it's just, especially when you're looking at skill position guys like running backs and wide receivers, it's pretty hard to know who's gonna pan out, and you're really going off of the tape that you have.
Yeah.
And then, at the same time, these guys, this is their second full season, for all these guys. So I think especially with a guy like Andy Reid, if Edwards-Helaire kind of just like to work out in this system, he really just needs to like pick up a couple of like blitzes out of nowhere, and
I don't know if he can
make a few reads out in the field and get open. Because Mahomes is really such an incredible physical talent, and so I think that you're definitely right that like to waste a top pick on a running back, I think is it's high risk and pretty low reward long term, definitely.
And in long term, good point. Long term. So we're year 2 in the Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Looks still young, but for running backs, how long do running backs last at the top of their level in the NFL nowadays?
I mean, Zeke, like in Dallas, you're wondering if he's going to keep going
ever again.
He looks okay, but is he ever going to be that good?
And he's definitely not worth the $70 million deal he got. You already know that. So there's the, you could put that out somewhere else. So when a running back gets drafted, you have to be like in the first round, you have to be like Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, guys. You have to be that. And I'll put it to you this way: neither of those guys were first round picks.
Right.
You have to be that good to be worth it, because it's just not worth it. You don't have to pay. Look at Kareem Hunt a few years ago with the Chiefs, balling with them. I mean, look, he got into some off the field issues. That's why he's not a Chief anymore. But he led the league in rushing his rookie year. He was like a 3rd round pick. You know what I mean? It just the Shanahan, all the Shanahans, his dad and his Mike and his son, they don't draft running backs early because they know they can get Tatum Bell, Mike Bell, Raheem Mostert, all these guys. They can get a lot out of those guys. And I just thought,
they're just going to take hits too. That's the thing about that position is in the old days, you could have an 8-10 year career easily as a running back. But I think now just the level of physicality that defenses have, I just don't think, and just the amount of agility that's called for to succeed as a running back at this level. I don't think your knees can take it. I don't think you can take the hits. It's just these days Zeke is a pretty good, has some longevity, but I don't think you're going to see an Adrian Peterson.
No, and that's what it has to be to be drafted like that. And let's be real, that's what people thought it was. People thought it was Brian Westbrook. People thought it was Marshall Faulk. People thought it was that type of thing when the Chiefs magically fell into Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's all I'm saying. A lot of teams, I'll put it this way: if the Jets drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire and he was doing the same thing he was doing right now, people call that a bust.
Totally. Yeah.
That's all.
But everybody's a bust. I want to say one thing. I want to agree with you that I think the Chiefs aren't that great, and I think to me it's their defense really should be able to keep them out of close games with with total regularity, and obviously Mahomes is going to put up some of the best numbers in the league, and the whole team is going to score 1 million fucking points. But just even in the Super Bowl last year, I think the difference wasn't the quarterbacks. The difference was the defensive game plan really wasn't there for Kansas City. So, and that was Andy Reid's problem, even back in Philly.
Oh yeah.
He's not got the toughest defensive mind, and he lets a lot of points go up, and it usually bites him in the ass. So expect it might again,
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And that gets to our point is the Buccaneers built a great team, then got Tom Brady. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They had Shaquille Barrett. They had Ndamukong Suh. They had all these guys who Jason Pierre-Paul, like,
Yeah.
I think that's where you're going with that. Devin White and Carlton Davis, these guys that were good, plus those wide receivers who with Jameis weren't great. You know what I mean? Like, but they were still, you knew Mike Evans was good. And if you play fantasy football, you were still drafting Mike Evans every single year in the top 5 rounds. Like,
And they had competitive teams with Jameis too. They were like,
and they were fun to watch. Jameis Winston's the most fun to watch quarterback of all time, in my opinion, where if you don't give a shit what happens in the game and you're just like, oh, it's Thursday night. He's the ultimate Thursday night football quarterback. He is like, I don't care what's going on. I got some beers in the fridge. I'm going to watch Thursday night football. Jameis Winston is incredible to watch because it could either be an absolute disaster or it could be like, wow, Jameis threw 5 touchdowns today. This is incredible. Like, he looks great.
He reminds me kind of like a Jamarcus Russell who got like more of a shot and was in a better situation, maybe.
Yeah, it took care of his body too. Didn't become 285 pounds in his second year. Yeah, no, I easily could have, but did not. And that's. I
think there's a lot of lies spread about what happened to Jamarcus Russell. We don't need to get into it.
The best thing about Jamarcus Russell ever is the Kirk Morrison story where the Raiders coaches had the game film from last week, or they were prepping for the opponent for the next week. They said, hey, this is I don't know who the team is, but let's say they're playing the Vikings. Okay, this is the Vikings tape for that week, and they gave him a DVD and they said, watch this over the next 2 nights. Come in here and tell me what you saw on the tape. So he comes in and he's like, yeah, I saw this and that. Yeah, no, we got this. Like I saw some holes in their defense, and they were like, that was a blank DVD.
Oh, and they just bullshitted him like that?
Yeah, because they knew he didn't watch. Like, they knew he didn't watch the film. Like, they were trying to see, like, because what you're expecting is the call from Jamarcus. Hey, coach, you gave me a blank DVD. You know what I mean? Like, you're expecting that call from Jamarcus Russell at 7 p.m. that night. And then
I know it's a tough league, but these are the kind of negative motivational tactics that really got him. It drove him from the game, and it probably made him put on all that weight. And
are you Jamarcus Russell's agent, by think
he's a buddy. He's around, just trying to stick up for him. No, I think he was one of the players who got a really real deal, and I do think like there are quarterbacks who get, extended periods of time to just be terrible in the league. And there's not a lot of rhyme or reason besides which ones are regarded as like historic busts and which ones just like are allowed to, win 4 games for 5 years or something.
Absolutely. I think you're right there. I mean, I don't know about Jamarcus Russell, but yeah, I think you're right for the most part on that thing. Now, last thing here, give me the 2 teams. Give me a couple teams that you think are off to a slow start that you think are better than their slow start, and give me a team or 2 that they're 2-0 and you think they stink.
Well, definitely, I'm sorry to say, but I think the Raiders
aren't. We suck. All right,
but I don't think they suck. Noted. I just think that they're going to
outside your house
come down
with a gun. But okay, yeah.
I think they're going to come down. That's all. Okay. That's all I mean.
Come down to 10-7.
I think the
like it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, 10-7.
Oh, okay.
11.
Yeah, we stink.
11-6.
Yeah, we stink. Oh man. Yeah, I would love to stink and be 11-5. Gotcha. But
I think the Vikings are a pretty solid team.
Yeah.
Despite being 0-2, and I would expect them to sort of be a contender by the time it's all over. The other teams that are, I guess, the Niners, sort of the only other 2-0 team that I don't think is super impressive right now. Okay. And they're just in that really tough division out there. But I mean, aside from that, it's like it's a tricky league because you know what you're looking at, right? You're looking at the fucking Chiefs and you're looking at the Bucks, and you're wondering if any other teams are gonna, really give them a run for their money, and then you're wondering how the Super Bowl is gonna shake out. Like right now, that's definitely how it looks, and there's a lot of other teams in the middle sort of jockeying for position, but
Yeah,
I don't know. That's how it
fair.
looks to me.
I like the Vikings too. I do actually. So here's the thing. How about this? Justin Fields just got the start this week. I'm a Justin Fields fan.
Oh yeah,
I like Justin Fields. Bears are 1-1. They're 1-1. Their defense isn't bad. They have a good defense. I think the Packers suck. Like
they're soft. Yeah.
They've always been soft, but I think they're actually like they're worse and still soft now, if that makes any sense. Like the offense, that was a bad Detroit defense. The Niners put up over 40 points against that Detroit defense, scored 17 against Philly the next week. Like there's that Detroit defense is going to be giving up points all year. I think the Packers are soft. I would not be surprised if the Chicago Bears won the NFC North. Yeah, you heard it here first. I just wouldn't be surprised. I'm not predicting it. I just wouldn't be surprised if they snuck in there and won it. The rest of the division is horribly weak. The West is where it's at. Everybody in the West is strong right now, but the in both conferences. But like the Packers. Okay, have you also heard my take about quarterbacks with long hair?
You don't like quarterbacks with long hair?
I mean, neither.
Or is it just the mullet?
Neither does anybody because they don't win. So think about it. So I have long hair, right?
Joe Namath, I think, was the last one.
Yeah, and we're going by era here. Like the 70s, that was what you did. Ken Stabler was very good with long hair. You know what I mean? Like we have that. Okay, sure. Let's say post 1980. Like here. How many Brady had long hair for a while, and I actually saw somebody write a blog post. Brady had his worst statistical season when they had hair coming out of the back of his helmet. No, it's a real thing. The minute if I ever got signed, I got some locks here. If I ever got signed here, buzz cut. I'm out. Like buzz cut. I'm a quarterback. I got to be serious now. Aaron
Rodgers, who had some good seasons as like a shaggy haired guy was Fitzpatrick.
Yes, I agree.
Along the way, but obviously nothing like.
But you're not going to build your team around that.
Right? But sometimes it was pretty cool. It's like, oh, look at that guy with all that hair.
He's on the Jameis Winston like Thursday night. I got beers, fun to watch guy. That's Ryan.
Totally. Yeah, he's still playing the game. Yeah,
electric, entertaining guy. So I remember when they were both at Tampa, and it was like, I don't care who's playing tonight. I love this. Yeah, but anyways, so long hair guys. Aaron Rodgers has long hair now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looked good against Detroit, but come on.
I think his look is very intentional.
Yeah.
Right now.
I get mad. It's viscerally bad to me when I look at it. And I love Aaron Rodgers. I like Cal a lot. Anybody comes out of Cal has my support usually. So so again, Justin Fields, nice short, high and tight hair. So I do like him. With I think there's a chance that the Bears could rattle off like 5 out of their next 7 games, just getting some juice in there from Justin Fields. Andy Dalton's terrible, like just terrible right now. And I like the Bears. I think they have decent receivers, like not great, but I think Allen Robinson's pretty good for when he's healthy. I think Darnell Mooney's pretty good. I like David Montgomery. Their offensive line is so maybe towards bad, I would say. They still have some difference makers on defense, and I could just see them rattling off like 6 out of their next 8 or 5 out of their next 7, and just being in primetime and having the Packers take a dive. And now a team that I think is overrated. Let's see, 2-0 teams that are overrated. I'm gonna go with you know what? You said this earlier. I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos. Who the hell have they played yet?
That's true.
Who the hell have they played yet? They played Jacksonville. No disrespect to your Jets this week, and then they opened up against the Giants, which Daniel Jones. Come on,
it was a soft game.
Daniel Jones should just grow his hair long and just be a long hair guy because that's who he is.
They're playing the AFC North this year, so they're going to have some tough games on the schedule down the line.
Agreed.
And
physical games.
I think you could be right because Bridgewater is an unproven guy still, despite being.
And what if you're down 2 scores? That's all I'm saying.
Right.
What if you're down like 10 points? Do you trust Teddy Bridgewater to bring you back from 2 scores? That's the problem with the Denver. He always has to have a lead, or else it's whack.
Yeah, but I think they could be one of those teams where you're not really going to be running points up against them.
Yeah, I agree.
If everybody stays healthy, I think they could be a top a top defense.
Yeah.
But you're right. On they're not like the AFC is pretty top heavy. The game last week, with the Chiefs and the Ravens, I think that was pretty much what you have to look forward to.
Okay. Oh, you don't understand. The Raiders Chiefs games are going to be electric this year. You don't even know what you're talking about, man.
I just don't see them. I don't see them there at the end. I think Gruden is a good guy.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be positive this year. I'm usually negative, like what you're doing right now. So I'm just trying to try something a little different this year. Trying to. I think
he's too emotional. I think he's too emotional as a head coach, and I think it filters down to his teams, and it did before. In his first run as a head coach, and I think it will again.
You're right, absolutely. And now, getting back to quarterbacks with long hair, by the way,
sure.
Backups with long hair, great. That's my power ranking. Charlie Whitehurst. You get guys like that, like off the thing. Now, I'll tell you this right now: Trevor Lawrence, he's gonna have a rough rookie year. It just is what it is. Even if
you think he has to cut his hair.
Comes back with a buzz cut next year. I'm calling this. Comes back with a buzz, maybe not even a buzz cut. Maybe he goes Tom Brady, kind of like just middle length hair, which it'll look dumb, but he's gonna come back and all of a sudden we have seen a new Trevor Lawrence. You just
like he's calling the same plays, but just with like a more professional.
The throw's got an extra mile per hour on it. It's a little more crisp. Like
everybody's just ready to like listen to him a little bit more. Yeah,
I'm just saying, man. Like you just don't see it. Like it's just. Like I'll put it to you this way: if I'm a head coach, and my quarterback after like a long off season comes back and he's got long hair, I'll just be like, "Here's the clipboard. You're the backup," because I don't understand.
Just earpiece in, hang out. Yeah.
No, it's like it just doesn't make any sense to me, man.
Well, I've had sort of an experience because I've been like I had long hair for most of the year last year, and now I'm going with a more like I'm doing your second year quarterback plan where I'm like going in with it.
Yeah. You understood that the league requires a different protocol.
I just felt like 2021 was a different like hair vibe.
That's fair.
But anyway, it's definitely like people do treat you different and like receive you differently as you say things to them based on the length of your hair, especially as like as a dude. So I think you definitely may be onto something like as a leader of men. Are you really
that's what I mean. It's all about the leader. Like, if you want Aaron Rodgers to run like an NGO, absolutely, he can do it today. Totally. Like, you know what I mean? Like
tech startup, go do it.
Tech startup. Cryptocurrency type thing going on. Like if you want him to mine some Bitcoin, he's got you. But like if it's like, hey, I need you to like it's 10 below zero. I need you to go 80 yards down the field in the NFC Championship game. He's gonna be like, yeah, dude, pull out an acoustic guitar and be like, yeah, no, I'm chilling, dude. Like
Let's chill.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, dude.
One exception I would make would be like a Derrick Henry style like dread. Like
we're talking about white guys here, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But to be fair, how many black?
No, I mean that's what I've been thinking this whole time. It's like I'm racking my brain for one quarterback.
But even the black quarterbacks don't have.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's totally a DB running back like linebacker thing. Like you know what I mean, tight end maybe too, like just something like that. Even the black quarterbacks, dude. Mahomes, he's got that like weird. I don't know what that is, but
it's like a soccer kind of
Ronaldo kind of thing. Yeah, no, you're right. He's got that, and like I think they know. I think people know. I think people just get it, man. Like I think it's just like one of those things where like this doesn't feel right. And also you could be tackled. You can be horse collared in the pocket as a quarterback.
That's true. True.
You get that too. So.
Well, I know we're talking football, but like the Yankees, I grew up in New York, and
sure.
They have had this policy for as long as I can remember, and I think going all the way back to like the 30s or something, that you're not allowed to have facial hair on the team. Like, and every time they trade for somebody who has like,
I don't think you could have long hair.
No, I think it's like it's not even it's an unwritten thing, and that nobody comes around and tells you to do it, but you just have to do it eventually. And it looks pretty stupid if you don't win. You know, if you
Absolutely.
if you win, it looks really smart, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how it is. You know, get sharp and everything. So I would say that there are a lot of quarterbacks with like clean haircuts and you know, very adult looks who are also terrible at
Oh
the
yeah.
game. You know, um, like Mike Glennon. You remember that quarterback? Like,
Boy, do I. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
do whatever you want with that hair, and
He
it's going
couldn't
to be
grow hair to
tough.
his shoulders if he wanted to because his neck is about a foot long. Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be tough for him no matter what
Yeah.
he does up
It would
top.
take
So yeah,
he'd have to do that shit for like 7 years on a hunger strike or something for it to get down to his shoulders. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that's a good stopping point. I would love to have you
All
back
right.
on sometime. I think we're gonna have to revisit these takes here, by the way.
Well, now it's recorded, so we're gonna
Right.
see. We're
So
gonna
I'm
see
thinking in like
who's
another
stupid and
four
who's
in
not.
another
Yeah,
4 weeks, we gotta I think 4 weeks in the NFL is like a dog year. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have you come back on.
that
And
sounds great to me. I mean, the first 2 weeks have been forever. I'm really this season is great. You know, I like,
yeah.
and to close out, I would want to say in earnestness that like with all the college football that's going on and all the pro football that's going on in a lot of places with full stadiums, it's sort of it's a good thing to have out there in the world because
Yes.
it breaks a lot of bubbles.
It's quite a spectacle, would you say?
And it's a positive thing. You know, people have fun. I know it's a very violent and horrendous game, but obviously there's a lot of sort of disregard for human welfare going around these days in general. I just think it's nice to see something regular. It's good for the people of this country who've been
Yeah.
through a lot. And yeah, I'll be back in 4 weeks to talk about
4 weeks. Four
the
weeks. So
Jets
week
a little
six,
bit more.
around that time, week six, around there. And
Yeah, yeah.
I will say this to your point. Um, I'm a Twitter guy. Like I came to Twitter, and this was years ago, just to talk sports. I didn't come to
Mhm.
Twitter to do what I do now. And anybody subscribes to this channel knows what I do now. But like if you I didn't come here to talk about that stuff. That was a newer thing in the last couple of years.
It's been a
I came
crazy
here
couple of years. Yeah, yeah.
I came here to talk sports. I was flabbergasted to see that people were like, sports, that sucks. That's gay. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what? Like I like all these guys that are like Manosphere, like Alpha Rivellino, Green Line guys, and like they'll be like, yeah, I don't know about sports, man. I'll just be like, honestly, dude, if young men like sports now, I think we'd be in a better spot as men. That's all I'm saying.
I totally agree. I totally
Yeah,
agree. And I
that's all I'm
think that
saying.
when, you know, I don't want to like date myself too much, but you know, when I was growing up, like people, you generally played sports even if you sucked at it. You know,
It was physical
once or
activity.
twice, you
Yeah,
know, you had to do it somewhere along the line, and it was like, it was just a fun part of life, and everything's just gotten so fucking divisive, and
yeah,
oh, you're this type of person, but it's really just like it's a normal fun thing. It's kind of a common thing you can talk about, especially if you're moving around. You know, I think that the the to not take it too far, but I do think that
take it too far. I don't care. Take it too far.
the the sort of hatred of just like casual ordinary masculine behaviors,
Let's
you know,
go.
just like shit that people do to
Yeah,
mind, you know, when they're not at work, to mind their own fucking business and enjoy their lives. Those things are kind of under attack. And sports for decades, it was like this thing, you hide your interest about it, you know.
yeah,
In my life, you know, in a lot of times, in a lot of circumstances, you don't want to tell someone that you're necessarily that you're a big football fan. But I think that that's definitely yeah, it's just like another stupid division. It's just a fun part of life, and I don't know, it's cool to watch the guys hit each other, you know.
absolutely. That that was that was beautiful. By the way, that reminded me of Remember the Titans, where the guy was like, Denzel was like, oh, what are you doing here at this college here or at this high school? And he's like, oh man, I just want to study and I just want to hit some guys while I'm here. And he's like, oh, I like that. I like that. That's exactly what that reminded me of.
Is that the one where they died?
No, that was
Where
a
was the one
Disney.
where they died?
That was I know exactly what you're talking about. That was where Matthew McConaughey was like the Marshall head coach.
We Are Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
We Are
okay.
Marshall.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit different. Yeah. No, one of them was about racial equality. The other one was about dying in a plane crash.
They're football movies. You know, that's what's important.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, so
All right.
follow my guy Gnocchi Wizard, which to me sounds like an Italian clan member. I don't know. Just me personally, I don't know what that means. Follow him on
what's in a name, you know.
what's in a name. Follow him on Twitter. He does post about football, post about a few other things too. But if you follow me, then fuck it, you're probably in.
I'm definitely going to try and transition into more football content.
It's such an escape. It's
nice.
People will be like, I don't get how you can post about football in this time, and then they'll be like, new Marvel movie, soy facing. I'm like, well, okay.
Everybody's got to talk about something, you know. We all need a break sometimes.
You gotta like some absolute bull. You have to spurg out on some bullshit in your life.
Yep. Otherwise, out of balance. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you will go insane. Howard Hughes pissing in bottles. Like, yeah, absolutely. So follow him on Twitter at Gnocchi Wizard, and a great follow. This will be out. I'm gonna get this out ASAP because we have to. Unlike what we normally talk about, this is very time sensitive.
Right, it's week 2 or week 3 already.
Thursday night game. Week 3 begins at 5 p.m. West Coast time tomorrow. So
under 24 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm getting this thing up. It'll be up tomorrow morning. I'm getting it up. And it'll be up there. Again, follow Gnocchi Wizard on Twitter. I'm at Glen Rockney. This is follow RareCandy Pod 1. Real fun stuff. Appreciate you coming through, man. Well, I'll see you around week 6. I think we got to revisit these. I think it'd be very fun. So
yeah, we'll see who's dumb and who's not. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, me. Yeah. All right.
No, definitely both of us. I bet.
All right, man. All right, man.
Take it easy.